When people talk about climate change, they usually think of the future. Rising temperatures, melting ice, modern technology struggling to adapt. But climate has always shaped human history. Long before industrial societies existed, changes in rainfall, temperature, and weather patterns quietly influenced where civilizations emerged and how long they survived. Not as a single cause, but as a constant pressure. To understand this, we must abandon the idea that civilizations collapse because of one event. History shows something very different. Civilizations are systems, and climate change affects every part of those systems at once. In the ancient world, agriculture was the foundation of power. Food surplus supported cities, cities supported administration. Administration supported armies, religion, and trade. When climate was stable, this system worked. When climate shifted, everything became harder to maintain. One of the earliest examples comes from the end of the last ice age. As temperatures warmed, human groups shifted from nomadic lifestyles to settled agriculture. This was not simply progress, it was adaptation. Farming emerged, where climate allowed predictable growing seasons. Civilization followed climate, not the other way around. As societies grew, they became increasingly dependent on environmental stability. Rain-fed agriculture dominated most ancient civilizations. A few years of drought could be managed, decades could not. Consider the Bronze Age world. As we explored earlier, the Late Bronze Age was highly interconnected. Recent climate studies suggest prolonged droughts across parts of the eastern Mediterranean during this period. Crop failures weakened states already under political and military pressure. Climate did not destroy civilizations alone, but it made recovery far more difficult. The Maya civilization provides another clear example. Paleoclimate data from lake sediments and cave formations shows repeated droughts during the late Classic period. These droughts coincided with population peaks, intensive agriculture, and political competition. Water management systems were sophisticated, but not infinite. When rainfall declined, food production faltered. This strained political legitimacy and intensified conflict. Again, climate was not destiny. Human decisions mattered. But climate narrowed the range of possible solutions. The Roman Empire, too, was influenced by climate. During the early centuries of Roman expansion, the Mediterranean experienced relatively stable and favorable climate conditions. Good harvests supported population growth and urbanization. But later periods saw increased variability. Colder temperatures and unpredictable weather stressed agriculture. Combined with political instability and economic pressure, this weakened imperial resilience. Even in medieval history, climate played a role. The medieval warm period supported agricultural expansion in parts of Europe. Population grew, cities expanded. Then came the Little Ice Age. Shorter growing seasons and harsher winters led to repeated food shortages. Social tension increased. Disease spread more easily in weakened populations. What history shows us is not that climate causes collapse. It shows that climate amplifies vulnerability. Strong institutions can adapt. Fragile systems cannot. This is why historians increasingly study climate alongside politics, economics, and culture. Not as a replacement for human agency, but as a background force shaping outcomes. Another crucial point is perception. Ancient societies did not understand climate scientifically. They interpreted environmental change through religion, ritual, and tradition. Failed harvests were seen as divine displeasure. Rulers were judged by their ability to restore balance. When they failed, legitimacy eroded. Adaptation was possible, but uneven. Some societies diversified agriculture, others developed trade networks. Some reorganized politically, others fractured. Over time, climate shifts reshaped settlement patterns. Cities moved, regions depopulated, new centers emerged. History did not stop. It changed direction. This perspective challenges the idea of linear progress. Civilizations rise not because conditions are perfect, but because they adapt well. They decline not because of one failure, but because adaptation becomes harder over time. Climate change, then, is not a modern anomaly in history. It is a recurring context, a silent partner in human development. Studying this history does not offer simple predictions, but it does offer perspective. Human societies have always lived at the edge of environmental limits. What matters is not avoiding change, but responding to it intelligently. That is why historians continue to examine climate in the past, not to draw alarmist conclusions, but to understand how deeply environment and civilization are intertwined. Because the past reminds us of something essential. Civilizations do not collapse when climate changes. They collapse when systems fail to adapt.